Well, we are back with a little bit of Dokkan Battle, and we're sort of in a position where we can talk about this Broly. Of course, I pulled him last night very quickly. I'm going to talk about his banner as well, but you can see I have him at 55%. I haven't even really link leveled him or anything. I just got him awakened, and most of my opinions are going to be coming from reading his kit, sort of my expectations of him, which weren't very high, and watching the true showcase both at 55% and at 100%. Let's get the elephant in the room out of the way, I guess, and this will not be a Festival of Battles video. I'm done talking about that event for the most part, but because this character does, this character is sort of made to crush Festival of Battles, we do have to talk about Festival of Battles. This character should be phenomenal in that event. Not only are enemies supering all the time, but he's just a stacker on both sides of his, super attack coin. There aren't really events for that in Dokkan that aren't festival and also provide a challenge. You could play the 10th anniversary content, but at this point, the characters that don't stack that we have, they're all just supering for like 80, 90 million turn one, aren't going to give a shit about that event, which means that characters like Broly aren't even going to get a chance to actually like be impressive, right? So a character who opens with like 5 million when they're 55% or like a 9 million 55%, isn't going to look the best when the other characters are just going to kill the ball. Omega Shenron isn't going to give a shit about Jiren's stage. He's going to domain and then hit him for 9999999, right? Broly specifically wants to build up in something like Festival Battles. They put out Festival Battles missions. If there was ever a time where I actually believed, oh my god, they added characters to Festival Battles, it would be literally right now, because they put out missions coinciding with this character. It would not be before. I don't think they've been dropping a million characters for Festival Battles. I think we've been all using the same 5 to 6 characters for Festival Battles for essentially the entire year. And finally, they dropped a huge LR for this event. Okay. Next little bit of, I guess, talking point is, how's this banner? So you can see here I have 1165 stones. When I started, I had a 1450-ish, and I got some stones from the actual login, from the rewards themselves. There's a panel mission thing up, and you can see that I didn't pull over. So I pulled 2 full rotations, so 6 pulls in total, 2 of them being free. In it, I got quite a few LRs that were like reasonable, like at least usable. I got this one, so that's a dupe there. And I got this one, but I've already had them rainbowed. And I got this one, which was another dupe there, and should be easy Yang. I have 9 of this guy already. I just haven't awakened him, so it didn't really matter. And there was nothing really special beyond that, I think. So what does the banner look like in general? Broly, of course, is just not good enough to warrant like needing to pull. If you're not a Broly fan, I pulled this Broly because he is on a double rates banner, and he's one of my favorite characters in the entire series. Super Broly, when he was revealed, when his story was sort of rekitted, his fight scenes, his attitude now that he's sort of in the super manga, this is the character that, you know how people are with Beast Gohan, where they're like, oh my god, Gohan can do no wrong, even though, they're ass pulling his powers. Like, that's kind of how I am with Super Broly. We all have our biases. So regardless of if this Broly was top 1 or bottom 13, I was always going to pull this Broly. This is one of my favorite characters in the series, right? So there's that. Kale and Caulifla, I don't think are very good. They are just fine enough to be runnable, but nah. Getting a dupe in them does feel much nicer, though, of course. Gotenks has had enough time. He's not super necessary anymore, but he can be helpful for missions. If you happen to pull him and you don't have him, if you happen to get a dupe in him, I do think it's like oh, nice, but, it's nothing crazy. This Frieza is insane. Is this Frieza the best character on this banner? Is he? He might be. This Frieza is crazy, especially if you have the other, the Golden Frieza from the part 1. These two I am not sure of yet, because we do not have them in game. They will be in game in about 6 or 7 days. So that'll be cool, but yeah, they hopefully they're very good. I mean, there's a lot of attack and defense here, and there is also a final blow mechanic, so hopefully they do not tinker with that. This character is nothing, so they'll have to completely make a kit for them, so we'll see. And then the rest of these cards are, nothing. So in total, I would say that while the banner is double rates, if you don't actually walk away with Broly, you're just wasting stones, because it is double rates. So if you do decide to pull, you know, Broly's your favorite character in the game. He's your favorite character in the franchise. You want every single Broly. You don't care what it is. Then you should pull until you get him, because otherwise you're kind of pulling on. You're kind of just like throwing your, you know, stones into nothing. Especially with this being double rates, where you're very likely to get him. Is there a chance that you don't? Is there a chance that you spend 300, 400, 500 stones and you miss him? Yeah, sure, obviously. But why piss away stones on a double rates banner that you're not going to just go for? So that is my opinion. Otherwise, though, because this video is usually, you know, I'm usually talking to the people who are on the fence. And in the case of people who are on the fence, I would say no. Broly is not necessary. They could release long form content in this event, at which point I will change my opinion, of course. I will be down for it. But in the current state of the game as it is as of September the 12th, you know, 2025, Broly is not necessary. It would be very hard for them to release an event that is long and doesn't get cleared by the many teams we have right now that all do 90 million damage on turn 1. But I think they could do it. So we'll see. What they would need to do is essentially make so many phases that all the characters like Gogeta wipe out, characters like Shenron and such, their domains run out, and then have a big punishing final phase that is just too long, just has too many obstacles to overcome. I always say it because, you know, people are sort of stubborn in this way. Where are they? You know, people are like, oh, we just need to add, you know, once another character shows up, then it won't be Vegito Dokkan Battle anymore. And it was like, no. It will never not be Vegito Dokkan Battle. The reason it stopped being Vegito Dokkan Battle was the reason I said on the day 1 of this character's release, which is they're going to add an event that kills this motherfucker here. If you kill this guy and you make it hard for this guy to survive, which means that when you actually fuse into, you know, our boy over here, and he can't actually tank because he couldn't get defensive stacks because the events weren't long enough for him, then he will die. But it will not be about releasing another character. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta does not matter to this guy getting power gripped. You know, none of the characters releasing. Fusing, you know, Zamasu and Goku Black, Goku and Vegeta, that doesn't matter. Omega, doesn't matter. What got that character out of here is Special Battle showing up and punching him. So I think it will sort of be a thing where if they want to, if they so desire, they could make an event that is very easy for Broly to exist in for a few turns. Even if he takes 200,000 damage, even if he takes 300,000 damage, even if he takes 400,000 damage. And while phasing out other characters who sort of have these windows of power. So we can see with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta here, you know, windows of power, super class, 70% defense for 4 turns, right? That are just, you know, really bathing the rotation and stuff like that. Like, might not be like, oh my god, the most important thing in the world, but certainly if you take away 70 defense from your rotations, things start to get a little more hectic, right? You create areas where, you know, there can be gaps. That said, if you do that, it does sort of pose the thing of like, well, then the 4s here come back into play, right? These guys right here. So we'll see whether Dokkan wants to move to long form or they don't want to move to long form. They did just literally release an AGL Frieza EZA this celebration, who is not made for long form content, so I don't feel like they'll be making that decision. But as of right now, Broly looks like a bit of a miss if you are not a Super Broly fan. If you are a Super Broly fan, this character has amazing animation, some of the best all year, I think. This character has a really high upside. That said, you will not catch my ass in festival battles trying to farm clips with this character. I'm going to try him out in the other events. They might go well, they might go poorly. Whatever the case may be, I'm going to be watching his animations and smiling. That's just how it has to be sometimes. If you look at my other favorite characters of the year, characters like Cell, who are... It's not that this character is just so good, it's that this character is perfect Cell. And he is Cell in general. Cell is just my favorite, right? So I'm going to pull on Cells, and that's just how it goes. For some of you, you're a little luckier. Your favorite character is Beast Gohan, and you get all the love in the world. For some of you, you know, you're a little more lucky. Your favorite character is Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and you get all the love in the world. For some of you, you know, and actually I shouldn't say Beast Gohan, I should just say Gohan, and you get all the love in the world, but unfortunately, my love happens to be Super Broly and Perfect Cell, so it can definitely be way sketchier for me having to pull on these characters who I love, but I suppose that is what it is. Hey, it could be worse. I could be a DKP fan. You know, God forbid I end up a DKP fan. That'd be terrible. But yeah, I think that is the current state of Dokkan as it pertains to Broly. I just don't really see it. I also got these 4 characters from the Frieza banner, if you're seeing here. Characters like Gamma. If you're wondering why they're all level 1, it's because I literally didn't have these characters before. So not a bad celebration for me in total. 1165 stones is also a great stone count to be at. Again, I don't like pulling unless I'm at 1,000 stones or above. If I'm below 1,000 stones, I do, as a free-to-play player, I just don't trust it. So gonna start building back up. We should get a pretty skippable banner after Tanabata, and then we'll see what happens. We really don't know what's coming. Dokkan is about to get really odd, and hopefully we're gearing up for a big New Year's celebration, a big 11th anniversary. So I will probably just be saving for the most part. I was very lucky to have pulled the Tech Frieza and Gogeta unit on literally the Dokkan Day tickets or whatever they are, like, so that was nice. I think in terms of Tanabata in total, I know Truth is pretty high on this unit. He's much higher than myself. He thinks this is this is a fine unit. This unit's okay. They're okay. I'm not really there. I'm not really there. I think in terms of Tanabata, this might be one of the weaker ones we've gotten in quite some time. Because let's go to last year's Tanabata, which was this UI Goku, who was necessary, and this Jiren, who was very good. Not necessary, but very good. All right. And what was the year before that? Oh, of course. Never mind. Yeah. So it's been at least 2 years since we've gotten a big whiff. Is he not on Shadow Dragons? I guess he's not, huh? I guess he is not. So Power Beyond Super Saiyan. Where is he? There he is. Last year, the 2023 was this one, which this character was very good. And then obviously Omega Shenron is Omega Shenron, so we won't talk much about him. So yeah, at least in 2 years, we haven't really seen a Tanabata that felt this weak in terms of the headliners. Again, I don't think Gogeta and Frieza are bad at all. And if you're a Gogeta fan, you're eating. But I think if you want to talk about this character in terms of like, oh my god, this could be the best character in the game, you have to be a Gogeta fan. If you're not like a huge Gogeta fan, you don't believe this character is like top 1 or anything. All right, like you're doing that for like your fandom, right? You're not doing that because you're like being realistic, and that's fine. But yeah, with all that being said, hope you have pretty good luck if you're summoning. I would suggest that anyone who is not a super big Broly fan, just skip it. Like if you like the video, subscribe to the club, we'll go make it, and peace.